Today we are going to talk about various aroma compounds in foods. Aroma compounds are responsible for the odor of food items, that is, a chemical compound having smell or odor. They can be found in foods, wine, spices, fragrance oils, and essential oils. For example, many form biochemically during ripening of fruits and other crops. Aroma compounds play a significant role in the production of flavorants, which are used in the food service industry to flavor, improve, and increase the appeal of their products. Whenever food is consumed, interaction of taste, odor, and texture takes place to provide an overall sensation which is known as flavor. And compounds responsible for overall flavor is classified broadly into two groups. First group contain those compounds which are responsible for taste, whereas second group contains compounds which are responsible for odor. These compounds are also designated as aroma substances. However, some of the compounds are responsible for both the sensations, that is, taste and odor. Most important thing should be known that is that compounds responsible for taste are generally non-volatile, whereas aroma substances are normally volatile because compounds responsible for taste which is not volatile at room temperature, interact with taste receptors in taste buds of tongue, whereas aroma substances are perceived by the odor receptor sites of smell organ, that is olfactory tissue of nasal cavity. That's why these substances must be volatile at room temperature. We will also deal in detail with flavor enhancers, which are responsible for enhancing only desirable flavors or depressing undesirable flavors in the foods so that desirable flavor can be produced in the finally prepared food products. Aroma compounds can be classified into 7 different groups depending upon its functional groups, that is alcohols, aldehydes, amines, esters, ketones, lactones, and terpenes. Important aroma alcohols include furanol, which resemble strawberry odor, and menthol resembling peppermint. Aroma aldehydes uh, include acetaldehyde resembling pungent, benzaldehyde resembling almond, and citral resembling lemon oil odor. Aroma amines include indole, which resembles jasmine flowery odor, and trimethylamine resembling fish odor. Aroma esters uh, um, have examples of ethyl acetate having fruity odor and octyl acetate having orange resembling flavor. Ketones have examples of octinone resembling odor of mushroom and acetyl pyroline which resembles fresh bread odor. Lactones have sweet coconut odor, whereas terpenes have aroma of limonene resembling orange and nerol resembling sweet rose odor. Now, depending upon site-fitting theory, odor has been classified into 7 primary groups that include camphoraceous, ethereal, musky, floral, minty, pungent, and putrid. Each olfactory nerve ending have specific receptor sites whose shape and size corresponds to one of the molecule style for each of these classes. For example, first 3 classes of odor perception, that is camphoraceous, ethereal, and musky odor depends on size of the molecule, whereas the fourth and fifth classes, including floral and minty odor, depends on shape of the molecule. The sixth class, including pungent odor, depends totally on electrophilicity of the molecule, and the seventh class, that is putrid odor, is totally dependent on nucleophilicity. A substance whose molecule occupy more than one site may indicate a complex odor and send the same message to the brain. Here you can see a mixture of appropriate primary odors examples. For example, almond aroma is a mixture of camphoraceous, floral, and minty odor, whereas garlic odor is a mixture of pungent and putrid odors. Now, please mute करो अपने phone को. Please mute your phone. Threshold value. The threshold value is determined by smelling, that is orthonasal value, or tasting the food sample, that is retronasal value. Threshold value of food helps to find out the intensity or potency of. Please mute करो, disturb हो रहा है class. Repeating the threshold value. It is determined by smelling or tasting the food sample. Threshold value of food helps to find out the intensity or potency of odorous substance in food. The threshold value directly depends on the vapor pressure, which is affected by both temperature and medium. Odor threshold value is the lowest concentration of a compound, which is just enough for the recognition of its odor. Lower detection threshold is the minimum concentration at which the compound detectable for aroma quality still can't be unambiguously established. Compounds with high aroma value will certainly contribute aroma of the foods. The aroma value of a compound is calculated by dividing concentration of that compound in the food by odor threshold value of that compound in the food. Now let us see impact of natural aroma compounds. Amount of volatile substances are very low, extremely low in the foods, that is ranging from 10 to 15 milligram per kg of the food, and they comprise large number of compounds, some of which are important for providing particular food aroma. Compound of volatile fraction must be present in a concentration which is more than its threshold value and will be considered as an aroma compound. A characteristic odor in a food is attributed to the combination of numerous volatile compounds, each of which smells differently. Difference in character of certain aroma is partially due to varying proportions of widely distributed volatiles such as esters, acids, alcohols, aldehydes, and ketones, which naturally occur in different foods and is known as contributory flavor compounds. However, most of the substances contain trace amounts of a few unique volatile compounds, which causes the characteristic essence of the odor known as character impact compounds. And based on that character impact compounds, overall foods have been divided into 4 groups. First group contains foods in which aroma is decisively carried by only one compound. Other aroma compounds serves only to round off the characteristic aroma of the food. For example, isopentyl acetate in banana, benzaldehyde in almond, and citral odor is responsible for lemon. Second group contains foods which have several aroma compounds, one of which may play a major role for typical aroma of the food. Third group contains food in which aroma may be closely simulated or reproduced only with a large number of compounds. Usually, character impact compound is not present in that food. For example, processed food, including roasted coffee and some fruits like pineapple, peach, watermelon, etc. There is no single aroma compound in that group, and large number of compounds are responsible for such type of flavor after processing. Fourth group of foods contain aroma which is not satisfactorily reproduced even with a large number of volatile compounds, because such type of foods are processed by fermentation like cocoa, beer, and fruits like strawberry. These can't be, their flavor can't be satisfactorily produced. Now, flavor and flavor enhancers. Flavor is a sensory impression of a food and is determined by the chemical senses of taste and smell. Whereas flavorant is defined as a substance that gives flavor, altering the characteristics of the solute and causing it to become sweet, sour, tangy, etc. It is also referred to as the edible chemicals and extracts that alter the flavor of food and food products through the sense of smell. Smell is the main determinant of a food item's flavor. The taste of food is limited to sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and savory. But the smell of a food is limitless. So, a food flavor can be easily altered by changing its smell while keeping its taste similar. Flavorings are focused on altering or enhancing the flavors of natural food products, for example, meat and vegetables, or creating flavor for food products that don't have the desired flavors, for example, candies and other snacks. Most types of flavorings are focused on smell and taste. There are three principal types of flavorings used in foods, namely natural flavoring substances, nature identical flavoring substances, and artificial flavoring substances. Natural flavoring substances are obtained naturally from plant or animal raw material by physical, microbiological, or enzymatic processes. But due to high cost or unavailability of natural flavoring extracts, most commercial flavorants are nature identical. Nature identical flavoring substances are produced by chemical synthesis, which are chemically identical to natural flavoring substances present in food products intended for human consumption. They lack any artificial flavoring substances. But artificial flavoring substances are not identified in a natural product. To produce the artificial flavors, flavor manufacturers must both find out the individual naturally occurring aroma chemicals and mix them appropriately to produce a desired flavor, or create a novel, non-toxic artificial compound that gives a specific flavor. Artificial flavors may be safer to consume than natural flavors due to the standards of purity and uh, mixture consistency that are enforced by the law for food manufacturing and processing. Natural flavors may contain toxins from their sources, while artificial flavors are typically more pure and undergo more testing before being sold for consumption. Many artificial flavorants are esters. Now, flavor enhancers. Flavor enhancers are mostly amino acid or nucleotide derivatives which are capable of enhancing the odor of food, which is also known as savory flavorants or umami. These flavor enhancers are manufactured as sodium or calcium salts. Important types of flavor enhancing substances include glutamic acid salts, glycine salts, guanilic acid salts, inosinic acid salts, and organic salts. First one is glutamic acid salts, which is sodium salt of glutamic acid, also known as monosodium glutamate. We will talk in detail about that flavor enhancer. Whereas next is glycine salts. Glycine is simple amino acid, and this glycine salts are used in conjunction with glutamic acid as flavor enhancer. Next one is guanilic acid salts, which is nucleotide salts used in conjunction with glutamic acid as flavor enhancer. Next one is inosinic acid salts. This is also nucleotide salts created from the breakdown of AMP. Due to high cost of production, it is usually used in conjunction with glutamic acid itself as flavor enhancer. Next is organic acids, which is not usually considered and regulated as flavorants by law, but they can impart different sour or taste that alters the flavor of a food. Some examples of organic acid include acetic acid, which gives vinegar sour taste and distinctive smell. Next example may include citric acid present in citrus fruits, and it gives them their sour taste. Next example we can see about lactic acid, which is present in the milk and milk products and gives them a rich tartness. Next organic acid example may be malic acid, which is present in apple and gives them their sour or tart taste. Next example may be including tartaric acid, which is present in grapes and wines and give them a tart taste. Most important thing to be known about flavor enhancer is that though they are used to enhance the desired flavor or mask the undesired flavor, they have themselves little or no flavor. And even small additions to different food products, they will modify their flavor in a desired manner. Enhancers effect in apparent enhancers effect is apparent to the senses as feeling, volume, body, or freshness of the aroma and speed of the aroma perception by different sensory organs. Now we will see in detail about some of the flavor enhancers. First one is monosodium glutamate, which is now considered as a primary taste and being used in a lot of food products. Glutamic acid was first isolated in 1866, but the flavor enhancing properties of sodium glutamate was not discovered until 1909. After that, Japanese chemist Ikeda found that monosodium glutamate is beneficial component of algae Laminaria japonica, which is used in Japan as flavor improver of soup and similarly prepared foods. Most important thing with this monosodium glutamate is that only L form of amino acid gives flavor enhancing quality and not the D form of amino acid as it is inert. Monosodium glutamate are nowadays prepared even from wheat gluten, wheat sugar waste, and soya proteins. Monosodium glutamate is itself odorless and provide unique flavor, and it is detectable at very low concentration, even at 0.03% of concentration, and its taste is very strong, even at 0.05% concentration. MSG intensifies the flavor of meat and vegetables through a rounding or blending effect and cause a tingling feeling of satisfaction or fullness. It stimulates our tactile sense as well as our taste receptors. Presence of salt is must for MSG to produce its flavor enhancing qualities. Glutamate taste is most effective in the pH range of 6 to 8 and decreases with reduction in the pH. It improves the flavor of many foods, and that's why it is being used widely for many food products in the food industries. Most of the food products being benefited by this flavor enhancing capability of monosodium glutamate include meat and poultry, soups, vegetables, and seafoods. But it has no effect at all on fruits or fruit juices or sweet spicy foods. MSG suppresses undesirable flavors, for example, earthiness of potatoes, sharpness of onion, rawness of many vegetables, and bitterness in canned products of meat, fish, soups, stews, etc. If large amount of MSG containing foods is continuously taken by hypersensitive persons, it may trigger Chinese restaurant syndrome in these persons, which is characterized by headache, drowsiness, stomachache, and stiffening of joints. As a result, use of monosodium glutamate in foods have been under scrutiny. Relatively high levels of monosodium glutamate are naturally produced by certain foods like well-aged cheese and tomato paste. So, basic scientific question arises that why individuals who claim to experience adverse reactions to intentionally added monosodium glutamate apparently do not experience similar reactions to naturally monosodium glutamate present in well-aged cheese and tomato paste. Second, flavor enhancer includes 5' nucleotides, specifically inosinate and guanylate. They are also having flavor enhancing capability which resemble monosodium glutamate. Its flavor enhancing ability is such a high level that even at a level of 75 to 500 ppm, it will be recognized in all the foods. Sourness and sweetness of the food is not at all affected by use of nucleotides. In addition to that, it also improves viscosity of the liquid foods in which it has been added. Three types of inosinic acid, that is 2', 3', and 5' isomers, are mostly used for their flavor activity. Both riboside 5' phosphomonoester linkages are required for their flavor activities. These nucleotides show a synergistic effect when it is used in presence of monosodium glutamate. Maltol is also important flavor enhancing compound which is having caramel like odor, and it is used in concentration ranging between 52 to 50 ppm, and apart from flavor enhancing qualities, it also has antioxidant properties. It enhances the perception of sweetness in carbohydrate rich foods, for example fruit juices, marmalade, fruit jellies, to such a great extent that even on addition of 5 to 75 ppm maltol in any food product will decrease the amount of sugar by 15% to be used to prepare that particular flavor. So it will be suitable for persons who require calorie restricted diet. Flavor enhancer in baked products, candies, chocolates, ice cream, liquors, and flavorings can be utilized in these products. Prolonged storage life of coffee and roasted cereal products have also been observed after addition of maltol to these food products. Maltol also masks the bitter flavor of hops and cola. Now, ethyl maltol. It also enhances same aroma but is 4 to 6 times more powerful than the maltol itself, and it is not at all detected as natural constituent in food. Nevertheless, it is used for aromatization of different foods in the industries. Now, in this table, we can see about various flavor enhancers, and what is their adverse effect also has been mentioned in this table. First one is glutamic acid. We have discussed in detail about monosodium glutamate and glutamic acids. Glutamic acid is certainly flavor enhancer, and its salt substitute is being used as flavor enhancer. Amino acid present in many animal and vegetable proteins derived commercially from bacteria might cause similar problems as observed in monosodium glutamate, that is Chinese restaurant syndrome. So young children should avoid consumption of this flavor enhancer. Next one is monosodium glutamate. This is also flavor enhancer derived from the fermentation of molasses, salt substitutes. Adverse effects appear in some asthmatic people. Not permitted in foods for infants and young children. Typical products are canned vegetables, canned tuna, dressings, many frozen foods, etc. Next flavor enhancer is monopotassium glutamate, which can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps. Typical products are low sodium salt substitutes. So this can be taken by persons suffering from blood pressure, because it is a substitute of sodium salt. Next one is calcium diglutamate. This is salt substitute, and no known adverse effect for this flavor enhancer have been reported. Next one is monoammonium glutamate. This is also salt substitute of glutamic acid, and no known adverse effect for this also have been yet reported. Next one is magnesium diglutamate. Even this is also magnesium salt substitute of glutamic acid, and even this flavor enhancer compound have been reported to have no adverse effect. Next one is guanilic acid. This guanilic acid have been reported to trigger gout. Next one is disodium. Next one is disodium guanylate. It is isolated from sardines or yeast extract, and it may trigger gout, so not permitted in foods for infants and young children. Next one is calcium guanylate. It also have been observed to trigger gout. Next one is disodium inosinate. It may be prepared from meat or sardines, may trigger gout, not permitted in foods for infants and young children. Next one, calcium inosinate may also trigger gout. Disodium 5-ribonucleotide may be associated with itchy skin rashes up to 30 hours after ingestion. Rashes may vary from mild to dramatic. From mild to dramatic, the reaction is dose related and cumulative. So it should be avoided or banned. It is avoided and banned, also banned in some countries. Next is maltol. It is derived from bark of some trees, pine needles, chicory wood, etc. And it may be produced synthetically also. Ethyl maltol is also derived from maltol. Next and last one is glycine and its sodium salt. We have already discussed about it, that it is prepared from glycine amino acid and it is used in conjunction with glutamic acid as flavor enhancer. That is all about different um, aroma compounds and flavor enhancers. Thank you. Thank you very much.